So this movie is going to talk about several other options you have when you're trying to share your workbook with the world. We'll first take a look at sharing a workbook on Skydive, which is Microsoft's cloud network. And then we'll cover the functionality to save your workbook to SharePoint. And in this same area, Backstage, we have the ability to change the file type, and we can quickly create a PDF or an XPS document out of our workbook as well. So I'm going to stay in this workbook that I use for the introduction, and we're going to go backstage to the File tab and go to Save and Send, where we have the ability to save the workbook to the web. This allows you to access Skydive, and if you don't have a Skydive account, you can follow the simple instructions to set up a Skydive account for yourself. Once you do that, you have 25 megabytes of storage space to save files out on the cloud network, where you can access them as well as other people with your password and user ID. So since I have a Skydive account, I'm going to save as, I'll call it Book 1. So now that we save the file out on Skydive, we can go back there and left-click Microsoft Skydive to open up our Skydive account where we see the file. I'm going to open it up, and I'll get an error message because I already have the file open. But it'll open up an Excel web app, which is sort of a stripped-down version of Excel. And there's our file. Now you can't do everything in the web app that you can do with your client version of Excel, but this version is free, and if somebody has access to the internet, they can access the web version of Excel and your files, should you give them that access. So you can put your file out there and get to it, as well as share your files with other people. I'm going to close that down, and we're going to go to Save to SharePoint. SharePoint is a Microsoft product that allows a corporation, a business, an entity, the platform to collaborate in all sorts of different ways, including sharing files. There's publishing options when it comes to publishing your spreadsheet. So I can select the entire workbook or certain sheets or even items in the workbook. And there's more refined publishing options in the Parameters tab. I'm not going to go through those because they're not applicable unless you have SharePoint. In this Backstage area, we can also change the file type. And you really don't change the file type. What you do is when you select one of these is you'll get the Save As dialog box that allows you to save a copy of this file. So if this actually changed to a 97-2003 file type, when I end down arrow, I would only go down about 65,000 rows, but I'm over 1 million, so that tells me I'm still in a 2010 spreadsheet. Control Home. So what we did actually, Alt F-A to get the Save As dialog box back again, was save a copy of this workbook as a Microsoft 97-2003 workbook. I'm going to cancel that, and we're going to go Backstage one more time to the Save and Send area, where we can create quickly a PDF XPS document by left-clicking that option and then clicking Create PDF XPS document. The prior movie had information about the PDF format and the XPS format. This provides just yet another way to create one of those document types. So that completes sharing your workbook on the web and SharePoint. You have the ability to save your workbook to Skydive, which is Microsoft's cloud network, where you can get access to your workbook if you have access to the internet, as well as other people, even though they may not have Excel. You can quickly publish your workbooks to SharePoint. You can quickly change the file type or save your workbook as another file type. And you can also convert your spreadsheet and copy it in a PDF or XPS format.